Hello, everyone on Facebook. It's Tuesday night. I'm Dan Gibson. I'm coming to you live, Facebook Live, Natchez Renewal Live from here at City Hall. It's been a beautiful day, a beautiful fall day, and we're waiting to connect right now with WTYJ. This is our Natchez Renewal Radio Live, and we're going to be talking to Calvin Butler, who is our friend with WTYJ. And so we're waiting for Calvin to come online and start the program. I hope everyone's doing well. We have been having a really busy series of days here at City Hall, and I'm actually in our conference room where we've had a number of meetings going on today. So, well, here we go. We're about to be on the radio. Glad you're tuning in.
This conference will now be recorded.
Here we go. Getting it all set up.
97.7 FM WTYJ, AM 1240 WMIS. Tonight, here's Talk Night Tuesday. Of course, every Tuesday night, except for the fourth Tuesday night, we always find what's going on. And the only way we can find out what's going on is to talk to our mayor, the Honorable Mr. Dan Gibson, City of Natchez. And every Tuesday night, he always come on and tell us what's going on. And tonight is no different. Dan, how you doing? What's going on?
Hello, Calvin. It's all good. That's what's going on. How are you tonight, Calvin Butler?
Dan, thanks for asking. I tell you what, we missed you last week. Last Tuesday, of course, you had your evening board meeting that started at 6. And so we didn't have you on last week, but just kind of keeping up what was going on in and around the area, reading news and talking to people around there. It looked like a lot took place since the last time you've been on. I know we had the governor been in town and some other great things have taken place since then. So we're just going to kind of introduce you and let you tell everybody what's going on here in the city of Natchez.
Well, Calvin, I will tell you, a lot has been going on here in Natchez. And yes, last Tuesday I couldn't be on your radio program because we were in the middle of a 4-hour board meeting, maybe 4.5 hours. Calvin, the agenda was very long. It was a 2-page agenda. We had a lot of things to accomplish. One thing that I want to talk about tonight that I'm really excited about and what we were able to accomplish is we just renewed the city's work comp program for our employees. And so that means over the last couple weeks, really just the last 2 meetings, 3 meetings, we dealt with the health insurance for the city. And we've also dealt with the work comp coverage for the city. Calvin, these insurance policies are large. I come from a place where I used to be an insurance consultant and insurance lobbyist. So I'm excited to report that in those 2 policies combined, counting a renewal premium credit and a refund due to a premium audit that took place in the work comp plan, we'd already saved $323,000 on the health insurance. Now we've saved another $120,000 on the work comp. So that brings our savings there that are really needed to $443,000. So that's not bad for 3 or 4 weeks' work, is it?
Really not. And of course, health insurance, people don't realize that, they may go to a job, they may not pay the wages, but benefits is definitely something very important. If a job offers benefits, then you got a good job.
Yes, we have great workers who have been helping the city of Natchez go throughout the pandemic. And like most cities, it's tough to pay them what they're worth. It really is. So the least we can do is make sure they have good benefits. But while we're doing this, we want to make sure the taxpayers are getting a good deal and that we're not overpaying. And we found in the city's insurance program that we were paying a lot more in premium than we should. And so through some careful negotiation and bringing some competition, we were able to get that down. But what excites me about it is, Calvin, we can do a lot with $443,000. And so, we're going to be using that savings going forward. It has helped us balance the budget for 2021. and we have already passed that balanced budget. Calvin, one of the planks of our Natchez Renewal program is that we want to have financial renewal here in Natchez. And I know people have been tracking it along. The city has, for a number of years, been behind on its audits, been behind on its wills, been behind, and in fact, having to borrow money. I'm really, really grateful that during this pandemic, we have not had to borrow money. We have not had to furlough anyone, and we have been able to exist within our means without any tax increases, without any fee increases. And to be able now to have this savings and to go into the new year, which actually starts Thursday. Tomorrow, Calvin, is the last year of the city's 1920 budget. So our new fiscal year begins Thursday. And I'm just so glad we've got a balanced budget. We have found money, and we're setting aside some of that money. And I want to talk to you tonight, as with the program goes along, about some exciting things we're going to do with the money that we are being able to save.
Well, it's always a great thing to have a balanced budget, and but experience from your previous years being a lobbyist and just dealing with numbers and having a great board to work with allows these things to take place. So the taxpayers actually benefit from your hard work and the board hard work in order to put this together to help save not only the employees have a great benefit package, but the city also saves money, and you have a buffer, to kind of work with without having to borrow money in your budget, especially with the hard times, and a lot of federal dollars is going to be lost, and a lot of other great things are going to be lost. But one good thing, I see the economy around here is kind of picking up. Had a couple of different activities. I know we had the bicycles in town a couple weekends ago. Then we got the motorcycles in town this week. The casinos kind of moving, so people's kind of moving around. They kind of loosen up and spend a little money. So that's a great thing for the local economy.
It really is. Let's talk about the economy a minute. We're excited. Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel is going to reopen on October 1. We understand that a number of other businesses are now working on reopening. So many are already open, but we've had some businesses closed during the pandemic, but the bright news is that they're reopening. We are told that we have a new medical clinic coming to North MLK. The old Todd Clinic is about to reopen. A lady named Dr. Blanche Bell. We have a new rehabilitation clinic. We have a new restaurant on Main Street. We have a new hair salon on North MLK. We have a new gift shop downtown. We have another restaurant about to reopen. Another restaurant about to reopen. I'm not telling all that yet. I don't want to steal their thunder. Smoots had a soft reopening this weekend, which was a big success. The Little Easy, which used to be the old steampunk location next to Smoots, it's about to reopen. And we're working with the guys behind that, John Norris and Taylor. We call them the movie guys. We're working on them now on a plan to, after many years of closure, to begin work on the old depot on the bluff to reopen it as a restaurant, and also to create an entertainment district right there on the bluff in the parking area and along the grassy area adjacent to that depot. So, Calvin, a lot of great things. I also want to say this, though. Yes, all these new businesses, well, we have a major new business, Loss Prevention Services. We announced it last Monday. As you said, the governor was here, and they are tapped now to, they're already on Indeed.com. You can go online and you can apply for a job, Loss Prevention Services. But we are hopeful that they will start putting these jobs in place over October, November, December. The ultimate goal is 200 new jobs in downtown Natchez. So, Calvin, we've got a lot to crow about, a lot to be excited about.
We definitely do it. Of course, that loss prevention, that's from two great guys, happen to be my friend Sterling and Shannon Gay, who are actually local home guys from here that decided to invest in their community and bring that type of work to our community, and that not only benefit our community, but it just shows they saw a need to invest in our community because they could have took it anywhere else, but they brought it back home, and I just thankful that they did that for our community.
Oh, so grateful, so grateful. Well, let me tell you about a few other things happening in our community. Last Tuesday night, our very long board meeting, we discussed what we're going to do here with some of this money. So we are going to invest, and we had a meeting today. We're going to invest $67,000 of these surplus funds into beautification in Natchez. We are working on a list that has been prepared. 218 adjudicated, overgrown, dilapidated properties in Natchez. That's a lot, isn't it, Calvin? 218. And so we're working on a bid process. Hope to take it to the Board of Aldermen on October 13th. And we hope to create a bid process where multiple companies in Natchez can participate. And we're going to use that $67,000 to start cleaning up properties around Natchez. Not only that, we're going to be cleaning up right-of-ways, major thoroughfares, entrances into town. We're going to get rid of old landscaping, old dead shrubbery. It's time for us to make that best impression and let that be our first impression. In fact, Calvin, we also are going to be looking at curbs and gutters along North, and we want to make sure that beautification starts with us. And if the city is involved in these cleanup efforts, then the rest of the community, I think, will get excited, and everyone will start pitching in, literally pitching in and doing their part.
Well, I got to say, there's some great things that are taking place, and of course, your hard work is kind of paying off. But I'm kind of switching gears a little bit. I saw where you and Richard Hess was talking about the Brownfield project. That's going to be a job training thing at Fidelity. And I looked how you created this and how you crafted the terms this time around in order to get that taken care of in order to be eligible for that grant, because we had applied when I was on the board of supervisors. But one thing we didn't do, we didn't fix it where it would be a workforce training center. Therefore, when you applying for grants, everybody applying for those grants, and very competitive. But the way that you crafted it this time around actually puts you in a better situation to get that grant for the old Fidelity building. That's just kind of flipping around as we talk about the economy and things that you've been doing. And I've been kind of following you the last couple of weeks. So that's something you want to just talk about. I know
Calvin, yes. Let's knock on wood that we will be successful in getting that Brownfield grant. It's a grant not only for the tire plant, but also for some other sites in our community, including the MLK Triangle. As you said, the city applied for it last year, was a point away, and the county, we've been doing this in partnership. And so what that says is we came so close, yet oh so far. Brownfield grants are done all over the country, and it's a means of doing an assessment that is the first step toward an environmental cleanup of a hazardous site. Well, there's so many in the country. This is why we've been pairing the Job Training Center with the tire plant all along, because we know to get the points on the grant application, you need to have more than just a statement, we need to clean it up. Everybody in America's got something to clean up. And so we have said, as you just pointed out, be very strategic and say, we not only want to clean it up, but we have a repurposing, another purpose for it, and that is a job training center. We all need it. Here in Natchez, Southwest Mississippi, Adams County, we have multiple partners that we can bring in on this. And as you noted, Calvin, we already have partnered with Adams County Board of Supervisors. So grateful for the relationship we have with the county and with President Ricky Gray and the other supervisors there. We also have now partnered with Colin in this project. They're very excited about it. We're working, and we have started having communications to partner with Alcorn. We also are reaching out just north of us to Jefferson County to work with the supervisors there. because this job training center would be a win for the entire region. This job training center could absolutely be a game changer for Southwest Mississippi. And why do we want to involve Jefferson County, Claiborne County, move up in that area and get them involved in our project? Because we not only want the support of our own Congressman, Michael Guest, but we also want the support of our Congressman to the north, the Honorable Benny Thompson. And then you put that together with our senators, Wicker, Smith, and then our friends in Jackson. And I think that we'll get a good shot at this Brownfield Grant and at the cleanup that will follow.
Well, like I say, Dan, for a short period of time and taking on a position of bear in a time of distress right now, everything's kind of chaotic because of the pandemic that we're going through. So, I just applaud you for what you have been doing and how you have been working to try to move our community forward. That's a great thing. And like I say, but knowing folks with experience definitely helps out to make things happen. So I'm glad to see that the Brownfield Grant is kind of moving forward. And now something else we're going to talk about a little bit. We receive money because people fill out their census, and when they fill out the census and we are accounted for it, we get money on the federal and state level from those entities, the federal government and state government. So time is winding down on census. So I know we bounce around, but all this is dealing with economic growth and the finances in order to run our community government. So you want to talk about the census because I think tomorrow they have extended it.
We have been involved in a big way with the census. We've been working with Mr. Robert Purnell, who has been our liaison with the Census Committee, also working with the NAACP through Mr. Purnell and our community liaison, Brian Marvel. We have been on radio. We've been doing public service announcements. And the reason we're doing this, as you pointed out, is a very good response to the census is so important for our region. We've got to get a good count because that good count translates into federal dollars for Natchez, Adams, Southwest Mississippi. And so the exciting news is we thought that tomorrow was going to be our deadline, but now, Calvin, the deadline for the census has been extended another month, and we're so glad for that. And so people have just really need to get on board. There are forms all over town. They can come here to City Hall, but they can also go online, and it only takes 10 minutes. It's something that we only do 10 years, but Calvin, it makes a huge difference. And everyone can rest assured that as they work toward getting their information in, their information will be held confidentially, and they won't have to worry that anyone else will get that information.
And that's a great thing. Like I say, a lot of people may have filled them out. A lot of people may not even thought about them. And some people, but I noticed one thing. They are sending census people around, and some people may be scared to open the door, but we had a couple people come by here looking for different addresses. So they do have a ground troop out now trying to make sure that everybody's counted for. Because it's very important, just like voting. You got to get these things in it because all this makes a difference. It makes a difference on how they redistrict our line, how many representatives we have for the area and everything else, how many people represent Mississippi. So we really got to be counted for so we can get these federal dollars and state dollars and just stand up and be counted for during this census. So it's very important. But I knew you guys were running a campaign for that, and I wanted to just kind of touch on that because, like I said, that is part of the economic growth for our community.
And Calvin, we're running another campaign. You may see the ads in the paper, posters around town is wear the mask is a simple ask. We are excited to see that our numbers are still leveling, are beginning to level off, and things still seem to be going better at the hospital. And we attribute that to the fact that people are wearing their masks. It's so important. We actually just got a call Friday that one of the art galleries in town, expecting someone to come in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in mid-October, had the individual cancel because Pennsylvania has Mississippi on their red list. We're still a red list state. What that means is anyone traveling here from Pennsylvania has to immediately quarantine for 14 days upon their return home. Well, until Mississippi gets off that red list, that's going to be a problem for us, especially in tourism. If people can't come here and feel safe, then that's not going to be a good thing going forward. So we want to just tell people, please, I know it's not fun. I know we're tired of it, but continue to wear the mask so that we can continue to see our economy recover and so that people can come here safely and not feel like they're going to have to quarantine when they return home because Mississippi is on the red list. We've made progress. And Calvin, we appreciate WTYJ. I know y'all been running some of our public service announcements and trying to get the word out.
We have been, but I just got one in recently where they're going to be doing a care box with the elected officials got with the Adams County Emergency Management, and they're doing a care box for churches, and the churches need to provide information. We'll be talking more about that. Got that from your community liaison. Brian just sent it to me a few minutes. Well, he sent it to me earlier today, and I just printed out the email, so I don't have it in front of me. But that's where they're going to be doing a care box, emergency management. They're going to be going to the churches, asking the church to submit that information that is needed, whether it's masks or whatever supplies they may need to help us fight this virus. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that on the radio as time comes around.
You know, I am so proud of Mr. Bradford and Brad Bradford and his assistant, Nifa Hardy. They're doing so much to get the word out. And Brian Marvel and our city, we've been working so closely with them and with the county and President Gray. And getting hand sanitizer out there, getting face masks out there. And yes, they're prepping for another giveaway. And we want to also thank people like, Pilgrim Baptist Church, sending food boxes out into the community. New Hope, doing the great food giveaways they're doing there. Seeds of Change Ministry, Dr. Carolyn Myers, giving away food boxes in the parking lot at First Baptist Church. So many good things are happening. Calvin, though we run short on time, I have a couple other things to report. I want to talk to you about crime a minute and some things we're doing to address the cold cases here in Natchez. Right here in the City Hall conference room just last week, I hosted a joint crime task force consisting of the chief of police, Walter Armstrong, the sheriff of Adams County, Travis Patton, his chief deputy Brown, some officers from our police department, our police committee for the city of Natchez, and also our city attorney. And the reason we pulled all of these people together was to discuss the proactive things we're doing now to address the cold cases. We have talked to so many in the community who've been affected by crime, and especially the families of victims, crimes that have not been solved. We're working with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, and we're working on some new ways and some new advanced ways of solving crime, and we have reopened a number of cases. We're working them. Also, we have given our police department instructions, and we have asked the sheriff, let's work with him as well, that if the crime lab in Jackson is backed up, and we have had some success in getting some work expedited there, but if these cases are really backed up and we got to get evidence turned around, there are other places we can send. I just wrote the check to a company in Texas. We sent some evidence out there and had it processed just a couple weeks ago. And so we are getting busy. We're looking at getting Crime Stoppers organized again. We're looking at also establishing a fund and asking the city and the county, local businesses and citizens to help fund it. And it would be a reward fund for information leading to the arrest and conviction of these of anyone guilty of these unsolved crimes. And very soon we're going to be looking at a billboard that we want to put up in our city in a strategic area that will send the message that we are paying money for information. We are going to get to the bottom of it. I know that there are people in the community who have been reaching out to me, writing me, coming to see me, calling me, and I want you to know we're taking this seriously. We are not just sitting around twiddling our thumbs while there are those in our city who feel like they don't have a voice and that no one cares. We do care. Now, in addition to that, we are stepping up our enforcement of ordinances against the consumption of alcohol in open containers at parking lots and in front of establishments like convenience stores. And so I want you to know we're sending that message out that if you see this going on, call 911. We want a record of it, and we want our police out. Why is it a big deal? Well, number one, it's a breeding ground for other crime, drugs, prostitution, things that can lead into altercations, and we don't want to get that call late in the night that someone has lost a loved one due to an altercation that got out of hand because they were standing around at midnight drinking in a parking lot somewhere. And so, Calvin, we're taking that very seriously. Been working with the sheriff, with the chief of the police, and also with our aldermen, alderwomen, to address that. We're asking our businesses to cooperate, and businesses who do not cooperate, well, we're going to seek means to make sure that they do cooperate.
Well, like I said, I'm glad to hear that because you do need community involvement. Police can only do so many things, they're busy, and people a lot of times blame the police on not being effective, but you only can police what you can around, and sometimes the neighbors, or sometimes, and when the police get there, they don't want to talk to the police, but it's going to take community involvement. So I'm glad to hear that you're bringing back the Crime Stopper program to maybe get people interested in it. You got to protect your home front. So these people in these neighborhoods, these residents, you got to protect your home front. You're not a snitch. You're just making sure that you live in a safe area when you call the police and you tell the police what you've seen, and they can come out and investigate it and hopefully solve some of these crimes that we're not able to solve because somebody see this stuff. It's everybody not sleep and everybody, seeing stuff, but everybody not speaking out either. So I'm glad to hear that, Dan.
Yes, right. And, Calvin, that's a part of our beautification too, because as we clean up dilapidated properties around town and we get rid of a lot of this extra overgrowth of shrubbery and grass, it will, I think, also bring more light into our community and safer conditions. But now, hey, I got to tell you something else. We've been talking about the money, and let's say we're almost out of time, but I got to get this in. I want to say I'm so grateful for our aldermen, our alderwomen. We're all working together as a team. I'm enjoying Alderwoman Valencia Hall so much, working on great solutions for recreation. Just had a meeting with the county yesterday, working on some joint ideas to move into a whole new direction and do more for our community in the area of recreation. Couldn't be more excited about that. Alderman Frazier, we're just enjoying working with him so much, and he brings a lot of wisdom and a lot of years of experience to us, not only, as an alderman, but as a former police officer. But we also are enjoying working with Sarah Carter Smith, who is just so full of experience and great ideas. Alderwoman Irving, I want to tell you, she has real passion for her community, and in fact, many of the ideas of beautification and all have been coming from her. And I'm going to share one idea that she shared with us just last week that we're about to do, and I may end with that tonight. We also really appreciate Alderman Ben Davis, former police officer. He's done so much work with our fire department, in raising the quality of service there and in helping the fire chief who just retired, Ventus Green, to take us to a better protection class. And then Alderman Dan Dillard, who has so many years. He is our Mayor Pro Tem, and helps us a lot in figuring out our budget. But I want to just say this before we run out of time. I was meeting with Alderwoman Felicia Irving, and we were talking about some needs in the city and the areas needing beautifying. And she brought to my attention that the Proud to Take a Stand monument that, I actually was in the meeting with the mayor last year, I guess it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, with the governor and a delegation from Natchez when we asked for the governor to help with funding to make that monument possible. We're so proud of the monument that now sits there in front of the city auditorium, proud to take a stand. But Felicia Irvin brought it to my attention that there are some names, Calvin, that are missing from that monument. And so out of the money that we have saved on these insurance renewals and all, we have been able to identify $5,000 that we are going to put toward the completion of the Proud to Take a Stand monument. We are going to be working, and Brian Marvel is already working with Mr. Robert Purnell, who was so integral in getting that monument done, along with former Mayor Darrell Grinnell. And so we're working toward getting the names of those individuals who so bravely endured such an atrocity of justice back in the 60s. And we want to make sure that their names are added to that monument. We also are going to be looking at lighting for that monument, better lighting. So just wanted you to know we're working on that.
Well, it's so good to hear that, but I'm going to tell you something. Some kind of way you're going to find out to come on the fourth Tuesday, because, see, when you miss one Tuesday, you have so much to talk about, man. We run out of time. So, if people want to know what's going on, and everybody may not keep up what's going on like I keep up what's going on.
In fact, Calvin, I forgot to even say, we have met with our soon-to-be lobbyists. We're partnering with the county on this. His name is Greg Harper, Congressman Greg Harper, and we've given him an assignment already. The Department of Interior is setting its priority list for funding for the next Congress. These are national park projects all across America that are in line for federal funding. We are working to make sure that Forks of the Road is on that funding list request for the new Congress. That has got to be done by early November. And in fact, we will be meeting with Congressman Harper about this, along with, we hope, President Ricky Gray next week, because we want to see Forks of the Road brought into the national park here in Natchez. And Kathleen Bond, superintendent of the park, along with Sir Boxley here in Natchez, who has done so much to raise awareness of the Forks of the Road. They were at our board meeting last Tuesday night, made a presentation. And I just want your listeners to know we're moving forward with that.
But then you move forward a whole lot of things in a short period of time, and we really appreciate that, as taxpayers, as citizens, and residents of this community. We just take our hats off to you, because you're really moving forward quite fast. So we really appreciate you coming on every Tuesday night, except for the fourth Tuesday, and tell us what's going on. So in your own special way, we're going to let you wrap up and tell your listeners out there, good night, or however you want to wrap it up. It's on you.
I want to say this. The reason I love Marvin Gaye's song, What's Going On, so much is it has that word, war is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. We've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. And all the things we're talking about, it comes down to unity, opportunity, community, because we're wanting to not just have words, but action. And so I hope, Calvin, everyone hears that what we're doing is to make sure that we follow through and have action on these areas all across Natchez, north, south, east, west, all of Natchez benefiting from this Natchez renewal.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we have been talking to the Honorable Mayor, Mr. Dan Gibson. He always comes on the radio. He always tells us what's going on. And, of course, tonight he had a lot going on because he missed last Tuesday. So he told us what was going on. And quite sure next week he's going to have a whole lot of stuff to you. Dan, we thank you for coming on and informing the audience, man. Hope you have a great evening.
You too. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you. And Facebook, we're going to stay on just for a few minutes because I think we've been getting some questions. We want to be able to answer those questions before we sign off. And then just to remind you, we do our Tuesday night radio program on the first, second, I believe it's it's 3 of the 4 Tuesdays when we're not in board meeting. And so in addition to that, we're on Facebook every Thursday evening at 6 with our Natchez Renewal live program. And we will be on Facebook again this Thursday with that. Our director of communications has been following things on Facebook. Dustin Hinkle. Dustin, have we got any questions?
The one question that was asked was, is this Mike Kelly's company doing the filming? That was from Greg Brooking. It was asked.
Greg, are you regarding the filming tonight?
I wasn't sure if it was.
I don't know. Now, there is filming going around Natchez right now with regard to some economic development filming for Natchez Inc. and also some tourism filming for Visit Natchez. Visit Natchez, just with the help of our soon-to-be lobbyist, Greg Harper, they were able to attain $500,000 in ad campaign money that's going to be invested in an ad campaign to get visitors coming to Natchez after this, with the pandemic, just promoting Natchez as a safe place for tourism to thrive. And so I know they're working on those videos. By the way, a little call out. I understand we had a great weekend. The first weekend for our Grand Fall Pilgrimage. And this pilgrimage is lasting a whole month. And I want to do something right now. If you're listening on Facebook, just listen, and we'll talk more about this Thursday night. But there are a number of things that bring great revenues to Natchez. And in so doing, make jobs right here in Natchez. And one of those is the pilgrimage. The pilgrimage brings thousands of people to Natchez each year. And if it were not for the pilgrimage, spring and fall, we have some businesses that might not even be able to exist. In the retail world, you probably heard of Black Friday. That is basically the Friday after Thanksgiving. And it is said that that Friday is so important to retail merchants across America because that's when they call it black, because that's when they finally go from the red to the black. It takes that long for a business to be profitable. And I have a small business myself. I've been working on my taxes for my guest house business. And I can tell you, it takes a lot of effort to get to that black because you're in the red a good bit of the year. Well, pilgrimage, think about it as the Black Friday event for our tourism industry. And it is the thing that puts our tourism industry in the black. Other than that, we could be in the red and we would see tourism businesses all over town shut their doors. And along with that, we would lose thousands of jobs right here in Natchez. Thousands of jobs in Natchez are related to the tourism industry. And so everything we can do, from the balloon race to the pilgrimage to the great bike rally we're going to have this weekend, the motorcycle rally, the bicycle rally we had 2 weeks ago, everything builds upon itself to build a great economy here in Natchez. And so I don't want to hear any talk that we don't support the pilgrimage. We in Natchez better be supporting that pilgrimage because it's very important to our economic survival as a city. I just had to do that shout out while I had the chance and while I was on my mind. And so get out and see the homes. Go and tour a behind the scenes experience. For instance, at Concord Quarters, which is the only slave quarters in Mississippi on the National Register of Historic Places, so beautifully restored by Deborah Cozy and her husband, Greg. Also, we have great tour guides like Jeremy Houston. We also have great tour experiences like the carriage rides, like Sal Durkin, and we have some fantastic restaurants. Everything from the restaurants under the hill to Main Street to the Monmouth to Next Level to the wonderful hamburger joints right along MLK. So let's support tourism. Our Natchez Coffee Company, it's exciting to see the brewery doing well and what's happening over there. I get excited. I could go on and on. Dustin, do we have any more comments or questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to, I'm going to sign off. It's been a good time. Natchez, I thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your prayers for our city. During this tough time, we have absolutely seen the best come through. And truly, Natchez is shining as only we can do, our shining city on this beautiful hill. Have a great night, and we'll see you again Thursday, 6 p.m., Natchez Renewal Live. May God bless you.